You won't believe what happened outside this courtroom. Where justice was supposed to be served, chaos broke out instead. It all started on what should have been a routine day in court. The Deputy Attorney General, a respected legal official, had just stepped outside for a brief moment when things took a shocking turn. Out of nowhere, a group of aggressive officers approached him, not because of anything he did, but because of who he was. Witnesses say their tone was sharp, their actions intense, and it was clear something wasn't right. People began to gather, murmuring in disbelief. Why was the Deputy Attorney General being treated like a criminal? The tension escalated fast. Just as things were reaching a boiling point, the courtroom doors swung open, and out walked the judge. Her face changed the moment she saw what was happening. Panic set in. The officers froze. Something was clearly wrong, and everyone knew it. But instead of stepping in, the judge did something no one expected. This is more than just a courtroom drama. It's a story about power, prejudice, and what happens when those sworn to uphold the law are the ones crossing the line. And just when you think it's over, there's a twist you won't see coming. Stick around, because what happens next will leave you speechless. The judge didn't say a word, just stood there for a second, completely frozen. Her eyes locked with the Deputy Attorney General's, and it was like something passed between them. Then, without warning, she turned and rushed back into the courthouse. That's when people really started whispering. Who were those officers? Why were they acting like this? And why did the judge look so rattled? Here's what we know. The Deputy Attorney General, known for taking on tough cases, had been pushing back hard on a recent investigation involving misconduct in law enforcement. He'd made enemies, quiet ones, the kind that wear badges and carry power. This wasn't the first time he'd noticed strange looks or felt that tension in the air. But this was different. This was public, bold, like a warning. Some say this wasn't a random incident, that maybe the officers didn't recognize who he was, but others think they knew exactly who they were targeting. And that's where it gets complicated, because if it was intentional, what does that say about the system? About how deep this problem really goes? Outside the courthouse, more people gathered, cell phones were out. Tension was building fast, and just when it seemed like someone might finally speak up, something else happened that no one saw coming. As the crowd grew, so did the questions. Some recognized the Deputy Attorney General right away, whispering his name like it carried weight. Others pulled out their phones, recording every moment, not sure what they were witnessing, but certain it wasn't right. The officers, meanwhile, kept glancing at each other, less confident now, like they hadn't expected this many eyes on them. Inside the courthouse, word was spreading fast. Court staff peeked through windows, legal aides whispered nervously in the halls, and one clerk made a quiet phone call to someone higher up. No one knew exactly what the judge saw that made her panic, but her reaction spoke volumes. Some believed she recognized one of the officers from a past case, one that had been sealed under mysterious circumstances. Others think she realized what the public was about to see couldn't be explained away. Back outside, the Deputy Attorney General remained calm, but you could see it in his eyes. This wasn't just about him anymore. He'd been working on exposing corruption in local police units, and now it seemed like the pushback had just gotten personal. A public figure being confronted in broad daylight by officers with no clear reason. It was bigger than one man. It was now a matter of justice, reputation, and a system under fire. But what would happen next? That was still unclear. A siren wailed in the distance, getting closer. The crowd parted slightly, unsure whether more law enforcement was coming to control the scene or to add fuel to the fire. The Deputy Attorney General stood his ground, not flinching, even as the officers continued to hover near him, still not explaining their actions. No arrest, no charges, just pressure. Silent, heavy pressure. Inside, the judge was on the phone, pacing, her voice low but urgent. No one could hear what she was saying, but her face told a story: fear, frustration, and something else. Maybe regret. She'd seen this coming, or at least part of it. Some court officials began deleting emails. One assistant left the building entirely. It wasn't just a misunderstanding anymore. It was a scandal waiting to explode. Back outside, one officer whispered to another. The Deputy Attorney General caught it. Just a word or two, but it was enough. They weren't just sent here randomly. Someone gave them a name, a time, a place. This was targeted, deliberate, and whoever gave the order didn't expect it to play out in front of dozens of witnesses. Tensions hit a peak when a journalist, tipped off mid-hearing, pushed through the crowd with a camera crew. Microphones came out, questions flew, and just as someone stepped up to answer, an unmarked car pulled up to the curb. The back door opened slowly, and everything changed. From the unmarked car, a man stepped out, clean suit, calm expression, but his presence shifted the entire mood. The officers stiffened instantly. One even took a step back. He wasn't in uniform, but it was clear he held authority. The crowd went quiet, watching every move. The Deputy Attorney General's jaw tightened. He recognized him. This wasn't just another officer. This man was from Internal Affairs, and his sudden appearance, it wasn't part of the original plan. Someone had leaked what was happening. Someone on the inside. The man walked straight past the press, past the crowd, and stopped in front of the Deputy Attorney General. No greeting, just a quiet question. Do you have the files? A pause. The tension climbed. That one sentence lit a fire under everything. Files? What files? Now the stakes had just gone higher. Whatever the Deputy Attorney General was working on, whatever evidence he had, was clearly powerful enough to shake the system. And it wasn't just about racial profiling anymore. It was about a cover-up that could reach into top offices, maybe even the bench itself. The judge, the officers, the unmarked car, suddenly, they were all connected. Before the deputy could answer, someone in the crowd shouted his name. All eyes turned. A woman stepped forward, holding a flash drive in the air. He's not the only one who has it. And just like that, the storm got even bigger. All eyes locked on the woman holding the flash drive. The crowd went silent again, this time not out of fear, but anticipation. The Deputy Attorney General gave her a subtle nod, and that was enough. She stepped forward, handing the drive directly to the Internal Affairs officer. He didn't say a word, just took it and turned back toward the car. But before he could leave, one of the officers, the one who had first confronted the deputy, suddenly moved. He tried to grab the drive. It was quick, reckless. The crowd gasped, and in that split second, the truth came crashing down. He wasn't just there on orders, he was personally involved. His name, later confirmed, was tied to a buried investigation from years ago. One the Deputy Attorney General had quietly reopened. The scuffle was brief. More officials arrived. The aggressive officer was pulled aside, handcuffed, and taken away in front of everyone. Phones were rolling. The press captured every second. The judge reappeared too, face pale, no longer hiding. She knew it was over. The files revealed a pattern, years of misconduct, ignored complaints, and names that reached into city leadership. The Deputy Attorney General had known it all along. But the twist? The woman with the flash drive wasn't just a witness. She was a whistleblower from inside the judge's own office, and she'd been recording everything for months. In the days that followed, the courthouse became the center of a storm, media vans, investigations, and officials scrambling to respond. The flash drive led to a full audit of past cases, and several officers were placed on leave. The judge quietly resigned, citing health reasons, but by then, most people already knew the truth. The Deputy Attorney General, once cornered on the courthouse steps, was now being praised for his courage. He didn't gloat. He just kept working. The woman who had stepped forward became a symbol of quiet strength. Her recordings helped piece together how deep the cover-up really went, and because of her, several victims of past misconduct finally had their voices heard. It wasn't just about exposing corruption. It was about restoring trust in a system that had failed too many for too long. And though justice had finally started to move, this story left behind a clear message. Silence protects power, but truth disrupts it. Sometimes, all it takes is one person willing to speak and another brave enough to listen. This wasn't just one man's fight. It was a moment that forced everyone to look closer, ask harder questions, and realize that real justice starts when people stop looking away.